The MLB playoff race is heating up, and it will be the subject of our leadoff segment today because we're getting down to it. Really, really close to the end. The finish line is in sight. We're only going to talk about the divisional races today. We'll discuss the wild cards on a later episode of The Corner next week. But there's 7 weeks left. 7 weeks left in the baseball season, unfortunately. In 3 divisions, you have a 3-game or less difference between the leaders and what we'll call the chasers. And then in 3 other divisions, you have at least a 9-game lead for the leaders. So let's break those down. We'll start in our own division in the AL Central, where the Cleveland Guardians lead by 1 game over the Minnesota Twins and by 2.5 games over the Chicago White Sox. So let's look at the remaining schedules, right? Cleveland has 6 games left against the White Sox, and they have 8 games left against the Twins. But they also play some other contenders. San Diego Padres, who haven't been so great since the trade deadline. They have 2 games against them, 3 against the upstart Baltimore Orioles, 7 against Seattle, and 3 against Tampa Bay. They do finish their season with 6 games against Kansas City. Could be a tough road. Let's look at the Chicago White Sox. They have the easiest schedule, but they're easily the most inconsistent team here. They have 6 games left against the Guardians, as we said. They have 9 games left against the Twins. They only have 2 games left against San Diego, 3 games against Seattle, but they play Detroit 6 times, Colorado 2 times, Oakland 3 times. So the White Sox have the best chance to make noise if they can play consistent. The Twins have 9 games left against the White Sox, as we talked about, which is one of the final series of the season. They have 6 against Cleveland, 4 with the Yankees, and 3 with Houston. So it's going to be an uphill battle for them. In the AL East, the New York Yankees lead by 9 games, but we know they've not been playing particularly well. They've been struggling. They've had some issues with hitting the baseball, which we know all too well here in Detroit. I was able, after the Tigers game on Wednesday night, to watch that extra inning game against Tampa Bay where Josh Donaldson hit the walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 10th down by 3 runs, and it gave me flashbacks to Rajai Davis against the Oakland A's a few years ago. It was a fantastic game and what I thought could be, and even tweeted out, a spark for the Yankees, but then they got demolished last night against the Toronto Blue Jays, which is a pretty pivotal series for the Yankees to assert some dominance. A 9-game lead is a good cushion with 7 weeks left, but it can evaporate quick if you're not playing well. In the AL West, there's no surprise here that the Houston Astros lead by double digits, 11.5 games over the contenders there, Seattle being the next closest and most, likely to make the playoffs on a wild card spot. But it's going to be the Astros division to lose over these next 7 weeks. There's a very good chance that they don't. That's your AL picture, right? Your most likely division winners are going to be the Yankees and the Astros, and then there's going to be a 3-team race in the AL Central. And it's going to come down to those games that they play. The White Sox with the best opportunity, given the schedule that they have. But they're also a team that, as we said, very inconsistent. So let's turn that page. Let's go to the NL Central, where St. Louis leads by 3 games over Milwaukee. They have a pretty easy schedule with only 4 left against Milwaukee this season. But they have 7 against the Chicago Cubs, 9 against Pittsburgh, 8 against Cincinnati, 4 against Washington, and then they play 3 against Atlanta, 3 against San Diego, and 3 against the Dodgers. So if you're looking for maybe an odds-on favorite, that schedule is very favorable for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, listen, the St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs are a rivalry. I get that, and anything can happen in those types of games, but that schedule sets up pretty nice for the Cardinals. Let's look at the Brewers. They have 4 left against St. Louis, 6 against the Chicago Cubs, 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Colorado. They also have 4 games against Cincinnati, 4 games against Miami, and 7 games against Arizona. However, right smack dab in the middle of all those games, they have 6 games against the New York teams. And their road games. That's going to be a tough battle for the Brewers to overcome and make headway in that NL Central. That does not set up well for them. The NL East is most likely the most intriguing setup, where the New York Mets have a 3.5 game lead over the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta and New York will only play 3 more times. Atlanta does play Houston 3 times, Seattle 3 times, Philadelphia, who's kind of in the mix, and St. Louis 3 times. But they also have 6 with Washington, 2 with Oakland, 3 with Colorado, Miami, and it's not bad. The Mets, on the other hand, have 4 with Philadelphia, 2 with the Yankees, 3 with the Dodgers, 3 with Milwaukee. However, they finished their season with 21 out of 24 games against Washington, Pittsburgh, Chicago Cubs, Miami, and Oakland, ending the season with 3 games against the Washington Nationals. In the NL West, the Dodgers all but have it locked up with a 17-game lead over San Diego. You really have 2 divisions. Well, 3 divisions. I'm sorry. You have 3 divisions, right? The NL Central, AL Central, and the NL East. That are going to bring excitement over the next 7 weeks. The other ones, the AL West, the Astros are going to win that, barring some miracle run by the Mariners. The Yankees, you could see a meltdown, and if you do see a meltdown, you're going to see some heads roll with Aaron Boone, potentially even Cashman, though I think Cashman did a great job at the deadline. And the Dodgers have the West locked up. So the races that we want to focus on for this playoff picture are specifically going to be the AL and NL Central and the NL East. And it's going to be exciting. I watched the Braves and the Mets last night, and just the energy in that game was so fantastic. It was a playoff atmosphere right here in the middle of August. And it was phenomenal. Just entirely phenomenal. It's one of those things that, it gets the juices flowing when you see teams playing good baseball. Something that we're not necessarily accustomed to here in Detroit this season, but it was fun. Same thing with the Yankees and the Rays on Wednesday night. Just good energy, loud stadiums, baseball's being hit hard and fielded well, and pitchers dominate. It's going to be a fun race, and it's going to be something that's going to be very, very entertaining to watch.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?